You have plain soap, of course. What do you think?
Very much. Yeah, so they can send you the bill. What's doing in school? Everything goes That's right. People is sleeping. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Got it. I hate you. Got it. You wish you were happy marriage. Hello.
You make a nice couple. Yeah.
want to apologize to all of you for delaying things and welcome you all here for my parents' anniversary. So on behalf of Butch and Marilyn, Sandy and Henny and Tina, I want to welcome you all here and thank you very much for sharing in this special occasion for my parents. Now, I've been around for a number of years, you know. I'm the oldest of the three of us, and as a consequence, I have to tell you the earliest things. But, you know, my dementia has really occurred some years back, and it's hard for me to remember back then. So I'm going to tell you a few of the things that I remember about my parents way back when, and I'll leave the rest to my brothers. These first years, you know, when I was, my parents were married about 3 years at that time when I was born, and I can remember the first day I came into this world, my mother told me, "Calvin, you got to be a doctor." Now, at that time, I didn't know what a doctor was, but it seemed to please her. So that's why I became a doctor, because I wanted to please my mother. Fortunately, she made a good choice for me, and it really was a very fine choice, and I got to thank her for that. And I got to thank my mother also for the compassion and the understanding and the patience that she kind of gave to me all these years. Otherwise, I couldn't work in the field that I do work at. For my father, I really got to be able to tell you that I got to thank him because my father taught me how to kind of be industrious, tolerate frustration, and push ahead. And over the years that came in very handy because he gave me my neophyte training. That was on the way to Englishtown. I never got to the Forster discount, but my brothers will tell you about that. But going to Englishtown, he taught me how to really push through. You know, there's one thing that I remember when we came to the diner in the morning. At that time, we were traveling with Jack David. A very beloved uncle who's not with us any longer, but we used to come into a white tower, and that was around 5 or 6 in the morning, and Englishtown at that time was in no man's land. There was no New Jersey Turnpike, and then I would say, the man would come over and say, "What do you want?" I said, "I want eggs and this and that and that," and I had around 3 plates in front of me. My father was drinking coffee. So he said, "Calvin, you can't eat so much. We didn't take in our first money yet." So I learned the principles. If you didn't earn any money, you can't eat. That's what pushed me ahead. Over the years, you know, my parents had tough times, and my parents really, in those first 10 years, without any detail, really also told me how you can overcome really disaster. And they really came through whole. And I got to give them credit. Many people who went through the problems that they did aren't any longer married because they just didn't make it. And in the wake of that really came Henny. So again, I want to thank my parents for really helping us all these years, and want to wish them well for many, many more years, and tell them that they were the best in the world. So this I'll leave over to my brother Henny from now on. Then comes Butch. Henny?
It's really wonderful to be here tonight. Can everybody hear me in the back? Because I couldn't hear Cal too well in the beginning. No? How's that? I was talking to a number of people before who I had difficulty in remembering, and I tried to explain to them that we invited everybody that was still around that we had come in contact with, and my parents have come in contact with for the past 60 years of their marriage. What tonight is all about. I'd like to also reminisce a little bit and try to touch with a lot of different people here who know a little bit about my parents. And first thing I remember in life, the very first moment that I had consciousness of was in bed, crying in my mother's arms during the Second World War. It would seem that long ago, during the blackout. And the man next door came running down the street and said, "It's a blackout, it's a blackout," and there were sirens sounding, and I was frightened. And my mother held me in her arms. And those were the first conscious memories that I had of her comforting me. And my mom comforted me all my life. And I love my mom, just like everybody here loves their mother. And she's representative of the Jewish mother that is traditional throughout our entire history. The Italian mother, the Chinese mother. That symbol that all of us, all human beings, have contact and understand well. And then there are also very, very fond moments. As I grew up in Canarsie, and knowing the Birnbaums and the Malamuts and the Vinitskis, almost a collage of wonderful and true and memorable boyhood memories. Good, bad, sometimes indifferent. Growing up in Brooklyn, that everyone laughs about, makes fun of. I do nowadays. I live in upstate New York, so I can laugh about it. But it really was a great place to live. A great place to grow up and root for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And as Butch keeps telling everybody, I took him to Ebbets Field. And we took 2 trolley cars and a bus to get there. And we didn't get mugged. Nowadays, Ebbets Field, of course, is not there, and you probably do get mugged in Yankee Stadium. However, the people who lived in Canarsie, in Brooklyn, in those days, were wonderful people. Jewish people, Italian people. We grew up together. We had our arguments, we had our loves, we had our different kinds of contacts, and they still persist to this day, and therefore I'm very happy to have all of the people from Canarsie, and a special thank you to all for coming. Vivian, Chris, and Frank, and Boopy, and all the rest of you. There are other memories, too. Englishtown stands out. That's a code name. There has to be at least 24 people here who have some relationship to Englishtown farmers markets. Alan Birnbaum, my best friend in Canarsie. How was Buffalo? Englishtown was where I learned what life is all about. How cruel life could be, but again, the values of labor, the values of hard work, the values of honesty, and the values of what America probably stands for. The difference between America and the rest of the world is the ability, no matter who you are, what you are, where you are, you can make it if you wish to. And Sam Lipansky and Rita Lipansky and innumerable other people who worked in some way or another with us in Englishtown know getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, rain, snow, sleet, 90-degree weather, loading up trucks, unloading trucks, selling them, selling the goods off the trucks at a farmer's market, and then coming back home again. The scars of Englishtown remain. However, my father, who was the epitome of the European immigrant to America, understood that there is no free ride. There's no free ride in Europe, where he had no opportunity, but he had the opportunity to work hard here in America and eventually graduate from the farmer's market to Forced Discount Center in Brownsville, Brooklyn, the home of Mike Tyson, believe it or not. So you know what Brownsville would mean to us. Forced Discount Center was another ambivalent period of my life. One memory was my father being upset because he found all these little balls of paper in the back of the cash register where my brother Butch had been hitting spitballs with a pencil for an hour and a half because he was so bored. That's a wonderful, fond memory. I don't know if you remember that, Butch. In any case, Fortune Discount Center represented a turning point. It represented for me the ability to go to medical school, and it represented the ability of my family finally to be able to enjoy those things in life which all of us like to enjoy. And for me it was a way out, and for my brother Butch, unfortunately, it was just the beginning. And perhaps he can talk a little bit about that later on. In any case, I just do want to wish you all wonderful long life and love, and thank you very much for coming tonight, because it means a lot to me, to my brothers, and especially to my mother and father. Thank you.
Well, I picked it up from 1945 on. And as my father used to say, I was the last, but the best. Ladies and gentlemen, the joke about the best of running down the lake, it's me. I have to tell you that in my career, I have learned two things. One from my mother, the loving and kindness, caring, so many other positive attributes that my mother has taught me, and my father. Getting up early in the morning has only been my father. God. If Aunt Sylvie were to get up at 4:30 in the morning, I know he'd get us up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's true, Englishtown was a great achievement in our lifetime, because we have to get up early in the morning. And Lord have mercy, when my first job I ever got in Hempstead, Long Island, running a radio station, they said, "You're going to have 2 days off." I said, "Bis Michigan?" My father never, ever, verbally, ever gave me 2 days off. And I was so astounded by that. This 60th anniversary, to me, is a very, very deep thing to me, my family, and I'm sure to all of you. Every one of you in this room that I've met in our cocktail hour has meant something to me. Everyone. And I'm sure glad that you're here, because I'm absolutely delighted. And I want to thank you, all of you, for coming and joining us.
I want to just let you know that Butch has been nominated by NBC for an Emmy Award for audio technology, and that will be determined later in June, whether Butch gets the statue or not. So we have a celebrity in our midst. And now I'll turn the mic over. Later on, we're going to have some grandchildren who might have things to say, or anyone else who might have things to say about my parents, to come forth and have their say. I want you to enjoy yourself. We really enjoyed having you. And my brothers and I and our wives, thank you for sharing and giving honor to our parents who've been so wonderful to us. Thank you.
How about if we give them a nice round of applause?
come on the dance floor and join them in the anniversary dance. Come on, please join them on the dance floor. Once again, we'd like to invite you to join them on the dance floor. Let's help them celebrate. And since we are celebrating their anniversary, we're going to celebrate a good time. Celebration. We're going to celebrate a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Here we go.
like to say, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here and take part in our Simcha. I hope that we'll live to another 25 or 40 years and we'll enjoy ourselves again.
Very few people in this world get to celebrate a 60th anniversary. My brothers and I, Cal and Henny, have achieved this, which is incredible. And I am simply awestruck with what I have seen in my life to have achieved this. And I want to thank everybody for who came here tonight to help us celebrate. Thank you very much.
Story about Mr. Haber. When I came to Belmont Avenue, and the first store, when I opened a men's store next to Mr. Haber, he said, "Hey, mister, remember, you can't bother with ladies because I'll knock you out." I'll knock you out immediately. I said, "Sam, never." But after being there for about a year, he saw I couldn't pay the rent. He said, "You know what? Put in a little bit schmattes, but ladies, not much. You know, a little bit. Put some socks, put some other stuff." And finally, one day he came to me and said to me, "You know what, Michael? I love you. And when I'll decide to sell this store, except my son, nobody else will get it but you." And he started telling me about English town and about the sons, how he woke them up early in the morning. And they stopped for breakfast, and he was in the rush to get to English town, and they wanted to eat bacon and eggs. He said, "No, you didn't make money." Yeah. And finally, when he decided to sell this store, and we bought this store, we came to contract, and he said to me, "Michael, you look so pale. What's the matter? You don't have enough money?" I said, "Sam, now I can tell you I don't have." He said, "Don't worry about it. Whatever you have is good. The rest you pay me out." And when I took over the store and I started paying, he said, "What's your rush? Why are you paying it so fast? Take it easy. I don't need the money." And thanks God today I have 3 stores. And anytime Sam comes, he still owns the stores, he still has the keys. I never took the keys back. And, you know, he comes in, "Mike, you need any money?" I got money for you. I don't worry, just tell me you need. The best man. He is not only to me a friend, he's a father, a grandfather. My son and my grandson came here to celebrate his 60th anniversary like it's no other man in the world I respect and love more than him. Thank you.
Go ahead. Uncle Sam and Aunt Lily, on behalf of all the Pennsylvania Habers, I'd like to wish you and Aunt Lakey the most wonderful 60th wedding anniversary and long life and enjoyment from your whole family. Thank you.
Best of luck. Live forever. I love you all. Take care.
Table 6 to say all at once, happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Haber. Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Haber.
Monty is my number 2 child. I call him number 2 and I forget him. Debbie, number 3. I forget her name, so I call her number 3. And Diana's number 1, but there's something cooking inside of her. This is the second one, the second baby. We have one great-grandchild who's at home with a little fever today. That's Josh. And little Susie's number 4. I forgot her name. You know, I'd leave it over to you and then
Ty? Ty? I guess I'm ready to get together tonight, and I know for myself personally, it's been a year since I've seen my grandparents, and I'm really glad to see them again, and I'm glad to be here tonight. Grandpa, I love you very much. I'm glad to be here.
I wasn't prepared for this. All I have to say is that Grandma and Grandpa, I love you more than anything in this world, and I look at you and I only hope I have what you have, and I have it for as many years as you have it, and I'll always be with you and you'll always be with me. And my Dean says the same also. He wishes he could be here. And I love you very, very much. And happy anniversary in his
I'm representing Susie and I. Well, I just wanted to say that Susie and I were going to prepare a nice poem for you, Grandma and Grandpa, but we just wanted to kind of say something straight from our heart, that we love you very much and we're proud to have you as grandparents. And that's about all.
Okay. Thank you very much. And let's have Allie. Allie is Henny's oldest daughter and oldest child. He has one more with Mark, who has 2 exams tomorrow, so he wasn't able to make it. So where is Allie? There she is. Come on over here so the people over here can also hear. Come on over here, because I think these people on the right-hand side think as if they've been left out. Why don't you address them a little bit, okay? Here we are. Hello?
Hi. I had a speech written, but I figured it'd be too formal because you've heard so many already. I just wanted to say that I sometimes look at a wedding picture of my grandparents, and I can only hope that I can have a love when I'm older that's as special as what they shared together for 60 years. And happy anniversary, Grandma and Grandpa, and I love you a lot. And this is from me and my brother who couldn't be here tonight.
Thank you very much. And now we have Erin. Erin is my brother Butch's oldest daughter. If Allison wants to come and join us, she can too. Here we are.
Hi. I'm really proud to say that Sam and Lily Haber are my grandparents. I'm very proud of them. They've lasted 60 years. And I just hope that when I get married, my marriage lasts as long as them. Happy anniversary. I love you very much, Grandma and Grandpa.
Hi. People ask me, what's life like as a Haber? I go, very unique. Never a dull moment. Grandma and Grandpa, you are a remarkable couple. You've lasted 60 years. You're the only couple I've known who's lasted that long, and I'm very proud to say that you are my grandparents who've lasted 60 years. Many great things have come out of this marriage, and one thing, in my opinion, is the greatest. My father, Corey. If it weren't for him, Aaron and I wouldn't be here, and I, of course, wouldn't be up here making this speech to you. I love you very, very much. Happy anniversary, and many, many more.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And there have been a few people who would like to say something about my parents and anyone else who would like to kind of have a extemporaneous talk. We would like that. Stanley David, where are you?
Well, I'm number 1. First, I gotta say that the Haber boys about Englishtown. Hey guys, you went to a motel. I slept on the table and watched. You remember a PFC coming home from Fort Dix who didn't have any money? He wanted to take his girlfriend out. She gave me my money. That's why Uncle Sam, the register was short. Uncle Sam, remember when you took me to Englishtown one day? 2
from each to have something to say about them. These are all contemporaries, and they're very, very special people to us and to my parents. So I'd like to first ask Sadie to come up. Sadie is very close to my mother for many, many years. She's a contemporary. She's a sister and a first cousin.
I remember when I was a little girl, about 8 years old,
Lily's mother, as we called her Tante Isel, Uncle Broom was in America at the time. She wouldn't leave Poland unless she made sure that my sister and myself joined them. We came to this country, and I stayed with Lily's parents. From then on, her father and her mother were my father and my mother. Lily and Irving and Harry and Sammy, and unfortunately one daughter that passed away, Sally, we were all brothers and sisters. We grew up together, we went to school together. In fact, there were people in the family that had forgotten that I was not a real sister. I was married from their house till this very day. I always called her Mama, and I called him Dad. So I want to wish Lily and Sam a long and happy life, to have nachas from their children, their grandchildren, mentioned by the 75th. You can tell.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. And now, on the same night that my parents were married, as a matter of fact, one of my mother's closest friends, whom she knows when she was a very, very little girl, got married that night. And as a matter of fact, after my parents' wedding, they went to her wedding. And we'd like to ask Tilly to come up. Tilly, you may know her really because she's been to all of our affairs. Tilly, would you please come up and tell us a little bit about that night? Tilly is a contemporary of my parents. She was married on the same night as my parents. Feel neglected. Those people on the right, they tend to feel neglected, and we want to kind of give them a little bit of attention too.
Lily and I know each other from public school in the low class, maybe 2B, 3B, something like that. In that grade, the low grades. And we were friends ever since. And when we got married, the same day, the same night, Lily came to my wedding after her wedding. And so I made a promise that after many years, if she's going to have a party or something, I will come to see her. I live in Florida, and I made it my business to come to see Lily. All right, Lily. Happy birthdays, Lily, and Sam. Very happy, both of you.
Thank you. So, we have here really childhood friends, and that was really very special. It's very few people who really can have childhood friends. I have two childhood friends here, Eddie and Bernie, whom many of you know. Bernie I knew from the age of 4, and Eddie I think I met when I was 6 years of age. We kind of hung out at the Boy Scouts together. Now, we also have some old friends of my parents when they moved to Canarsie. We're moving up now. We've got to realize that we're talking about 1930s. We just moved up to the late 1930s, I guess. And I'd like to ask Martha Vinitsky, a very old friend who has known my parents for many years and know them from the synagogue and also personally with the children. Martha, would you please step up?
I'd like you to
We'd love to, and it's a pleasure.
Good evening, everyone. It really is a lovely place, and a celebration like a 60th anniversary is really something that we all should stand up, and a special ovation to Sam and Lee Haber. I always call them Lee, but to all wish you a very, very happy anniversary and many, many more in good health. We go back, I'm going to flashback. We go back to days living in Canarsie and raising our children. And of course, the Hagers were always business people, always going to work, and Martha would help out, taking the the children to school. And it was my pleasure, especially with Henny. I always got very good reports. Very good. I'm an FNMA. That means a scholar. And of course with Butchie, he was like my baby. I always babied him. And to my surprise, he married my daughter's best friend, Marilyn Seidler Haber, right? And my Girl Scouts. My brownie, my Girl Scout. And it was a pleasure having her. And Corey made a very good choice, thanks to us. And also Cal. Well, Cal was something very special to us. He was going to be a doctor, and we all looked up to him. And of course, when Henny became a doctor too, we felt the same way, and the same way about Butch. The family was always ours, sharing it not only with school, but also with the shul. We were all very active in congregation, Canarsie Jewish Center, a place where we all had our hearts in to make sure that we always had social activities and we were always going out and having good times. I know you all worked hard, but you can say that we had a wonderful time being with the shul in Canarsie with all their activities and even learning how to play mahjong. Remember? We did some beautiful things together. And we'll always remember the beautiful days that we've had and will have, and hope that you will always be in our hearts with love and kindness and celebrate only simchas. Thank you very much.
Friends, if any of you would like to toast, why don't you mention it to me? We'll have some more in a little while. Thank you very much. Frank, give me a hand. Come here, Frank. Come here, Frankie. Frankie, baby. Frank, come on over. These are old friends of my father and mother. They've lived, as a matter of fact, my parent, he lives in my old house in 518 East 99th Street. I don't know what he's doing in that apartment.
What I want to say is the thing is too cool. I love these people very much, like it be my father and mother. Same here, right? See, like to talk about no hatching. Where's Mr. Sam Heber?
Where is he? Hey!
Mr. Lily Heber. I want to hear.
Get up, we wanted to see you. Okay.
I want to see you, my parents there.
Wonderful people. Okay,
Where's Sammy? Where's Sammy?
A long time. He is over there. I know him a long time.
Come here.
You're wonderful people.
What you do is talking, nobody goes up and plays, and you know, every nice music you play, you enjoy. That's a really occasion to enjoy it. I want to see more here. Go ahead. Butchie, come here, please.
These are
talking is nowhere. You know what I mean? You gotta get your mother and started walking, started dancing.
What he's trying to say is che si dice.
Come here.
Now you understand. You were in the State Department, we understand these people.
Talking, we want to hatch him here. All right. Don't be so cool. Get up and dancing.
These people are trying to say that loosen up, baby.
I see you very cold. I don't know. Go ahead. Look, what's
These people have been close to my family for long, many years as neighbors. Rosario has been a tenant of ours, and Frank comes from a family that, as a matter of fact, his mother-in-law took care of me when I was a young boy. Oh, Lord. They told me what Christmas was like, in more ways than one. Really. The Abruzos, his in-laws, had one of the biggest displays in Canarsie of Christmas, which was an amazing thing to watch until well, I guess the economic strife, or when the Arabs took away the oil from us. And these people know firsthand, 365 days a year, about my family.
It's true, and I'm enjoying it. I'm proud of it. When I see some action over there, get out.
They say,
Let's
dance.
Mr. Haber, Mr. Dance, everything is here.
Thank you very much.
Another thing, this is
Thank you very much.
There's a little.
Turn up bopping and a singing a song. Oh, the little birds on the Jaybird Street, little robin who keep rocking, rocking. Rocking, rocking. Every little swallow, every chickadee, every little bird in the tall oak tree. Flies on owl, the big black crow, under their wings singing, go bird, go. Rockin' my head. Oh, rockin' my head, it's a really good song. Raven and the bird, yeah, talking about the red rose, red stone. All the day long, bopping and a bopping and a singing a song. All the little birds out on Jaybird Street, little robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Oh, rockin' robin, it's a really good one. It's a little bit of a twist for you. Twist again, last would be last summer. Twist again, last would be last year.
This is Sid DeLinka. Sid DeLinka had a unique experience with my parents. He was in business with them for a while, but he knows them a much longer time. Here he is. I'm turning over to our cousin and friend, Sid DeLinka.
First of all, I only know them for a short period of time as far as intimacy. Lily was a very good wife, and she was a good Jewish wife. She did everything she had to do. But I knew Sam in a more intimate way that very few people notice about him. And that's his sense of humor. Now, Sam had a sense of humor that most people don't know about in Jewish. He used to mumble in Jewish.
Who does?
And I listened very carefully. First of all, he had a nickname for most everybody. I can't remember all the nicknames, and I wouldn't embarrass anybody by mentioning them. But they were really funny. We were together in what I would call a jungle, a real jungle. And being in that jungle, to have a sense of humor like that, when Sam used to attend a customer, I used to listen to his Jewish after the customer left. His mumbling. I learned words that I never knew before, and I knew pretty good Jewish. And that's about all I can say about him. Very funny. And to be with him in those several years that I was, I really learned a lot. Now, the good part of it is that his son has got a similar sense of humor, Calvin. And to be able to have that type of sense of humor really is a gift. That's about all the enlightenment I can give you about Sam. And Lily.
Thank you very much, Sidney. Sidney is kind of reticent to say those things that I feel free to, because really I don't worry about my dad anymore, you know. Freedom at last. But really, he's like a Sholem Aleichem in a way. You had to know the cast of characters, and he's referring to people like the Shimmer, the Blender, the Tiger, the Heracles. People, he never knew their names. You used to just have to know who the cast of characters were. Let's see, Philip Hager also said he wanted to have a word. This is my dad's nephew and the son of his youngest brother, Oscar.
I remember a couple of times when I was younger, I spent more time in Canarsie than I did in Borough Park with Calvin, Henny, and Butchie. And one day Calvin did something, he got punished for it. So you didn't want to make me feel bad, so you did the same thing to me. I love you both very, very much, and I always will. Thank you.
We're in English town, and I tell you, we had a dilemma one time. My father taught me ethics. Did you know that? I never told you that. There was this time, you know, what happened was that my father was being shipped merchandise, and he was being charged half price by the shipping clerk.
By accident.
By accident. The shipping clerk said it was by accident, and what happened was the shipping clerk was setting it up, and he said, look, Sam, I'm sending you all this merchandise. It's half price. It doesn't matter whether you order it or not, you get it. If you want to stay with us, this is the way it works. But the only thing is my father knew the owner. So we were in ethical dilemma. Number one, it was a good company, and the blouses were really selling great, you know, the $1.99 a piece in those days.
Japan, first one.
No, that was better. They were still in the States. They were doing the States. So my father and mother had this kind of conference where I learned my ethics. They said, well, if we tell on the shipping clerk, the chief shipping clerk, he has 3 children, he's going to be unemployed. but we can't really do it to the owner of the company because he was a very nice guy, and we couldn't do it. We would have to stop buying from that company. That was the solution. And that gave all those blouses to my cousin here, and he made all the money because we couldn't buy from that company. Here you are.
Wholesale. English Town, you've heard that mentioned a lot tonight. English Town is a time and a place that it's like Camelot. It means Woodbridge. It means Lodi. It means Cowtown. It's a time when Cal, Eddie, I, my brother, we grew up in an entirely different world. You people, a lot of you people call them flea markets. They were farmers markets. They were dirty. They were filthy. We grew up living on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday. That's where Uncle Sam, Aunt Lily, my father, and my mother made a living. And it was a tough living. We lived from hand to mouth on the trucks. We traveled all kinds of hours. And when people laugh about it, it comes down to the fact that these people took what they could and they got 3 children that are well off and well doctors. And well, my brother and I are doing pretty well. We aren't doctors, but you know, everyone could be a doctor. I only hope and pray that all the young people will have the values that are my aunt and uncle, my mother and father, can instill with their children. And I can understand it. I really wish them all the best of luck to, like someone said, by the 75th anniversary. They live and be healthy, and may everybody here be healthy. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And here we have the cake. I want to show everyone our 60th anniversary cake to Lillian's 60th anniversary song, but the happy birthday song. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, dear Sam and Lillian. Happy anniversary to you. Hip hip, hooray!
I've been waiting for so long, now the fun and fun's always stand by. Saw the rabbit go as we felt this magical fantasy. Now the crash of the rain with the wind of the sky secret. So we take each other's hand, but we seem to understand the urgency. Just remember, you're one thing I've been here to know. So until you tell me, There's a time of my life, never felt this way before. Yes, it's the truth. I hope I don't make you cry. At the time of my life, never felt this way before. Yes, it's the truth. Thank you. Take this opportunity to wish our couple the very best. Good evening, and listening to the sounds of Stanley's music. Say goodnight for tonight.
Hey, hold the mic this way.
Well, we all had a beautiful time here. I want to say good night to every one of them, and thank you very, very much for coming to attend our anniversary. And let's hope we're going to have many more.
Right, every year.
Very good. You want to say something? Our brother-in-law Sam, and we wish him
Much assumed to their 70th anniversary. They should live and be well. And the wonderful boys. God bless us all.
I'm an outsider to this. I'm this lady's husband, and I wish all of them a healthy and happy anniversary. And I hope that 10 years from now we'll all be God knows where, but we'll have another anniversary party like this. It was just gorgeous. Thanks very much, Carol.
Oh, in here? Oh, I'd make a good actress, right? It's been a pleasure, Calvin. I am so glad that I came here. You have no idea. It's just too bad that your uncle isn't here.
We wish that was so. All of us wish it.
Memories of Uncle Sam and Aunt Lily was when I was about 6 years old. And I went up to them, and I was raised by my grandfather, Louis, who was Sam's brother. And he said to me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "I want to be a lawyer." He said, "No, you don't. You want to be a doctor." And he decided that that was what I was going to do. And I figured, you know, I'd had enough of this from my grandfather. Said, here was this person who was just like my grandfather telling me what to do. And over the years, I've come to look at Uncle Sam in the same way as I would my grandfather. And Aunt Lakey along the same lines as my grandmother, Ethel Haber. And although they cannot be here tonight, from the bottom of my heart, I wish all of them, the whole Haber family, a very, very wonderful 60th wedding anniversary. And I wish my aunt and uncle many, many more happy years together.
Lily and Sam, a very happy and healthy anniversary and many more happy years together.
And we had a great time. Thank you.
Happy anniversary. You know, we have inflation now. We used to say up to 120 years, but I'm going to upgrade it a little bit. Up to 190 years in good health and for a long and happy life.
Day that we live to see my dear cousin, who is also known as my sister, to celebrate this wonderful occasion with her, and I hope we will have many, many more happy occasions.
Lily and Sam, I wish you both a very, very happy anniversary. We all had a wonderful time and we